And there's Mr. Flynn,
Yeah.
Mr. Day, Mr. Perot,
Okay.
Mr. Collins.
Oh, boy.
Dan, you're hiding on.
Sign your life in.
Picture's not good enough.
Thank you.
It might be your evil twin.
I could control it. That's why.
Be fine. I just think the tree ready out there. Good thing.
I don't think so. Wanda's talking to somebody.
Cindy, I think. Cindy. It sounds like. We couldn't.
I thought I see him walk by the fire station.
What do you fast like that? All right.
There's a particular day we came in. And that's why I see him maybe jumps out something. I see him go by, he's straight in now.
Not the meeting, he's late.
He's right here. Now he's getting back to normalcy.
He was at an accident Sunday down. Haleytown and Hampshire Road.
All right. What's me?
I didn't ask me your question.
Yeah.
40 miles.
Yeah. I don't know.
Need
There he is.
have a house. You gotta have some. Hi.
You gotta get his picture.
All right. Cindy,
Yeah,
is that correct? or
Yes,
that-
it is.
Oh, okay,
the reason that is because there was a Brownfield resident that took the cat to Bristol vet. They called me because they wouldn't take the cat because it had a bite
we're
of unknown,
videoing.
I don't care.
Okay,
I had a bite of unknown origin.
Oh.
So they had to quarantine it and they wouldn't quarantine it, so they surrendered it. So I had to go to Bristol vet and get it and take it to the shelter. So
I just thought it might be a typo. That-
no, it's no
Thank you.
typo. It's no typo. I was like, really? Why? Because it's the same thing. Then Harvard Hills called me 2 weeks later and said that they had a report of people dumping cats on Spring Street, kittens.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
So,
All right, go on.
You stay off his guy. Not like the one you did yet before.
We're all set with. We did the minutes. We're gonna approve the minute. I'll take a motion. You read the minutes yet? Well, that's, okay, I'll say that. There we go. All right, that's done. Payroll, that's there. Oh.
I have,
Last night.
I have this for Bruce.
Oh, yeah. I'll give us some information. We we're replacing the septic system here.
Well, that, I was wondering about the background. I saw Anderson corner.
It filled up again, so Anderson pumped it out. And then they ran a snake up through it today and they only got about 15 feet. So they went to see what it was, dug along until they found a distribution box. And it's absolutely full of roots.
Oh.
So
Oh, I just thought everybody in this place was full of shit.
That was my thought.
you can see it.
They're relatively new here.
Field is, it's got roots in it. If it doesn't, they'll just put pieces on and hook it back together. If not, they're gonna have to replace the whole thing.
So what happened? It got roots in it?
Yeah.
is that from the pine trees out there?
Huh?
The roof, is that from the pine tree?
From everything. Yeah,
I mean, there's all pine trees out there.
yeah, but there's one less. They planted on top of the line. It's gone. So. I've had trouble with last year, pump quit. Well, now you can figure out why, just deadhead, you know,
So this is.
Yeah.
This one, so
yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
is what he gave me.
Oh, all right. So it's okay.
They told me you got 2 days to do it.
Yeah.
More than that? It's really dry anyway. That's what getting out there, so it's all dry. It burns. Bruce, we might as well go to you.
Did you find anything out on the 2015, 2018?
Should be there.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of curious about. Are they saying it, they never adopted them or they did adopt?
They haven't told us that yet. They say they adopted them, but they don't have the signed pieces.
And that's why I asked for these votes right here, because this is the 2018 bylaws right here. On the back of it, it says when they were accepted, May 1st. And if you read the May 1st, they did accept these these bylaws right here.
Yeah.
And in these bylaws right here, the quorum was changed from 4 to 3. The ordinance says there must be 4 people to have a quorum. They changed it and changed it. For years, they've operated with an illegally constituted planning board.
Now, did they change, did 4 of them change it or 3 of them change it?
What?
At their meeting, was it 4 of them to change it or 3 of them to change it? At the meeting, they had to do that.
Well, and that's what I was just checking into, because what you gave me was revised minutes. I have the original minutes. Which I was trying to check the difference between what is different in the revisions that they were giving you.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they do things that change 2 months down the road, they make a vote saying, we didn't mean this, we meant that, and that doesn't apply now, this does, and it's a little convoluted, to say the least.
Did the town accept the bylaws?
The
At
town
town
does not have to,
They don't have to.
no, sir.
At the beginning, they didn't have to do it?
No, sir. The planning board gets to write their own bylaws, it's the way they conduct business, but then they're supposed to abide by them, sir. And I'll give you a, for instance, if I may. On your December 4th agenda meeting and everything, there is 2 minutes. There's a regular one and a revised one. And in the revised one, it eliminates everything I said in the original one. And I would like to submit that right now. Because this is the part that's trying to expunge the sewer. And I have more. Now, this is just a little bit of what's on. On the January minutes from the planning board. It says that the only changes in the minutes were the December 4th minutes were page 1, paragraph 2. 9,000 will be corrected to 9,999.
They admitted that had one of the next 7 minutes. They will revise them.
And the revised ones are right here. And you will see they omitted everything that I said. And I would further go to and ask you to read all of January's minutes. Because they did things in the January meeting that were kind of convoluted.
Well, this is after the fact, what is the date they changed the,
If I may approach.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying, you have to look at the front, because on the front it says whether they're revised or not. See, this one says revised.
Yeah.
This one does not. I was at that meeting right there. And if you look at all this, the meeting started at 7:02. The meeting started at 7:02. And then it'll be word for word until you get down to where I spoke, and then they said, Bruce didn't say anything. And if you look at the bottom where it said the only corrections made was. Paragraph 1, 2, 9, oh, whatever it was, 9 would be changed to. There's a serious problem when
they omitted that. From this.
and that's what I'm
That's
saying.
it.
When was that even revised? Because that
This was
first was
revised.
done at that meeting.
On the front, and that one, that was the original,
Oh, this is.
yeah, so that's the same.
And if you further read all of January 8th minutes, you'll see a lot of revotes and throw out this whole meeting and throw out everything else. And then they also got in touch with the lawyer, so Leah was made apply to everything the planning board was doing. That's why they had to cancel meetings, and please read January 8th,
Yeah.
January whatever.
Do we have that?
I just gave it to you, I believe. No, I got one right here.
No, that we have. Okay, number 4.
This is January meeting. Please read all that. And I was not prepared. I was waiting for the answer on on whether it was accepted, wasn't accepted. It was accepted. Those are the bylaws. And then they tried to cover it all up after the fact because they changed the quorum from 4 to 3. And they had to throw out both 2018 and 2015. That's how far back it went.
We don't know.
I have a question.
Was directed to the chair, please.
Bruce, if you're gonna start that, you can get up and, so I'm not gonna play your game. All right,
That's the question.
this table right here. I don't need his permission to speak, and I don't need to have somebody.
And I don't need to take your verbal abuse.
I don't, then leave. The door
I'm
right there.
exercising my right to consider.
And I am doing the same. I have a question. You have the choice to answer it. Or you can sit there and be quiet. I don't care which. This isn't your meeting. This is this table's meeting. And you're either gonna accept it or you're gone. I'm not gonna play the
I
game.
don't
with
need
you.
to take the verbal abuse.
Then leave.
No, sir. I'm here to make a point.
Then answer the question that I have.
What'd you ask?
Well, you,
So you didn't even ask the question.
no, because you're busy bumping your gums.
Good, that's quick.
Where in the bylaws does it state that the planning board cannot change their bylaws?
It doesn't say that.
So then why is it that this quorum, you're saying that the quorum is null and void
No,
because the board discussed the bylaws concerning a quorum for a meeting. The board would like to change the quorum from 4 members to 3.
then they
So-
can do that. They can do that, but it take a town meeting vote to change the quorum because there's an ordinance. And the ordinance says there will be 4 people for a quorum.
I thought it's bylaws. And that's my
Well,
question.
the
If it's
bylaws-
if
So
it's
the-
bylaws
if
and
the
the town
bylaws
doesn't have
don't-
to vote. You ask the question did the town have to accept the bylaws? Did the town vote on the bylaws? And your answer to both were no, the town didn't have to. So my question is, and this is where an attorney would be outstanding in the question, is if it's not required for the town, the taxpayers, the governing body to vote on the bylaws, to form the bylaws, to accept the bylaws or institute the bylaws, then why is it that it takes a town vote for the planning board to vote themselves to change the bylaws?
Because the ordinance says there must be four. The bylaws must be consistent with the ordinance. They cannot overstep the ordinance. The ordinance is what gives the planning board their authority.
The only ones that can change the ordinance bylaws is the vote of the.
No, believe me, John, I understand the whole process.
Oh, all right.
My question is, if the taxpayers governing body did not have to vote in or accept the bylaws, then how is it that it's not legal for the planning board to change the bylaws when it states that they can?
Does the ordinance say 4 people?
Correct.
So that's what where it is, the ordinance says there has to be 4 for quorum.
What?
They
Planning
can't,
board on which
I have that here too, if you'd like to see
they
it.
can't change the bylaw of the ordinance without the town. vote.
Understood, but I just need the clarification. I'm being told one thing, that the bylaws don't need to go to town vote, but when the bylaws are gonna be changed, it's gotta go to town vote, so which is,
If it affects the ordinance.
please.
Yeah,
organization, that's what
that's the ordinance.
that's what made the planning board.
That's what gave the planning board their authority.
So they can't change that number unless they go to the town of Brownfield.
Which they did do.
And do you have any motions that were done, carried, and motioned, carried, voted, and put forth with only 3 members?
Excuse me? Well, and I asked for the last, and which I just got an in dumped on me right now, but the number of 3 voters when it comes to adopting the bylaws is immaterial because the ordinance says there must be 4.
Okay,
The planning board cannot say there must be 3. And the reason why there was only 3 is because there was vacancies and the selectmen would not appoint anybody
would
for a
not,
long time.
would not.
Would not. Or did not.
Can you? Okay, so do you have any votes that were carried forward that weren't a 4 quorum vote?
That document that I gave you up there on the minutes from May 1st is when that carried. The May 1st minutes in material where there was 4 or 5 people there. What they could not do is give themselves a quorum of 3 people because the ordinance says there must be 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna revert to your point here. The board discussed the bylaws concerning the quorum for a meeting. The board would like to change the quorum from 4 members to 3. This is because it is often hard to meet this quorum requirement. So what states that they changed, that they followed through and changed the quorum to 3? And are there any votes that you can show us that happened with only 3 people?
Yes, I can. But not at this very meeting because I was not prepared to go down that road. I have further freedom of information requests that I have yet to get.
Okay, perfect. So we get that, and I would suggest.
That's enough information right there.
I disagree. Because this says that they discussed it. It doesn't say that they voted.
Yes, they did.
No, it says the board discussed the bylaws concerning the quorum. It doesn't say
no
in
vote
here
on here.
that there's a vote. It doesn't say that they asked for a vote. I don't see it pointed out. It says that they discussed it. So if they just discussed it, and again, if you can show us that that there were only 3 available and that they did a quorum, that they changed the quorum. And that they made votes with only 3 people. It is what it is. And then at that point, I'm gonna refer to the town's attorney for the simple fact that if they didn't have enough people, that's not a valid enough reason to not continue with town business. It's no different than if two of the three of us are sick and can't come in and sign documents. One comes in, signs, and business continues. We can't shut down because you gotta have a.
And one can sign payroll. I don't know if one can sign all the other bills.
I believe we can do payables as well, because it's my understanding from RHR that regardless, the bills have to be paid.
That's not in ordinance, is it? Or it's in ordinance?
Just say law.
Because I had to go to Superior Court to get that.
Mhm.
So that's-
Oh, no, yeah.
I would like all this compiled to a neutral,
Right there.
Okay, that just says motion to accept bylaws was changed.
And that is
What
that
changed?
2018 doc.
Okay, again, I'm motion to accept bylaws was changed. Motion by, seconded by Sonia. Okay, so what was the change?
Well, they say one thing, but it's another altogether. That's what I'm trying to tell you about the planning board keeping accurate records, because they change them all the time.
64.
And all the way through that water extraction ordinance, like I said, there was things done illegally and not copacetic. All the way through it.
I'm gonna agree with what you're starting to say. I think this all needs to be compiled. We have a joint meeting with the planning board
Mhm.
and Mr. Collins, can you come in and?
I'm not gonna go through a lot of verbal abuse like you give me all the time, I'll tell you that right now.
Bruce, this isn't how this is gonna work from here on out.
what I was,
Hang on, John, I wasn't done. I'm trying to come up with an amicable, we can try to figure this out, okay? But what I'm not gonna stand for is your little quips and your mouth running.
I have to take it, but you gotta give it.
Bruce, what am I doing? I went to ask a question and you started. Yeah, you're bumping your guns, okay? I'm trying to get this information compiled and have a meeting with the planning board so that we can, and by all means, you can be present. I was extending that offer to you so that we can try to get to the bottom of this. And if there's things that need to be done, then we need to get them done. And we need to get some type of legal mixed into this, so that I know we're doing the right thing.
May I speak?
By all means, floor is yours.
If what I have presented is not up to your snuff, then nothing will be, Mr. Chairman.
Well, up to my snuff. You know, I asked the question, Bruce, of show us, give us something, that says that they did this
And I
and that
did.
they have, no, you didn't.
Yes, I
It
did.
just seems to take motion to accept bylaws as changed. What was the change? You don't have any votes that you're bringing forward that the planning board made with only 3 people.
They
I
had-
asked you that and you said you do. You said you do. Regardless of the answer I'm providing, Bruce, it just seems like that nothing is good enough. I want to get to the end of it. I want to help. If we can have the meeting with the planning board and bring in, even if we can get an MMA or somebody.
I want. He's a concerned citizen with valid proof. I want to give this to a neutral attorney to look over. Is there any wrongdoing? What is
What's the end result? I
right?
mean, that's,
And to find out if there's a problem, if there is a problem, how do we fix it? It's not who.
Agreed.
That's what I want. We meet with the planning board, it's gonna be he said, she said, this, and it's just gonna continue.
Hence why I said get an attorney involved.
Right,
Then let's do it.
and I make a motion that we contact Bernstein Shore to see if they'll take it on, look it over. Give us an estimate, whatever, to evaluate what this is,
Why are we going with a separate attorneys from?
because it's neutral, not involved.
This
How
was all
was
done
the
on the
town
bid.
attorney involved?
This is all done on a limb.
there's been inadvertently, she's advised planning board, she's advised us, she's in it, not
She
that
represents the
there's
town.
anything malicious or anything, but.
She
it-
represents the town.
And to me, to look at this as conflict of interest.
I disagree because this is all town business. Every bit of it is town business. So who else would we get other than the town's
I
attorney? Why
want
would we
Burns to be
bring?
sure.
But I understand what John's saying. She has litigated on both sides of this. So how can she be neutral?
What was litigated? Tell me what's been litigated.
Stuff that on his, it said Leah was asked about this
She was
motion.
asked about the comprehensive plan that's stated in there, and she provided an answer. So I want to know what litigation you guys are talking about that the town's attorney litigated for the
I couldn't
town.
use the word litigate. She was.
She answered a
advised-
question that was asked from the planning board.
This
Yeah,
may
I agree.
involve the comprehensive committee. I don't know. That's what I want a neutral,
But we need to get put to bed.
right? I want it
We're
done.
we're getting another attorney. We already got three. So, I mean, how much money are we dropping money on getting outside entities to review town business? We have a town's attorney that is on retainer and is actively working for the town. Why are we gonna go to another attorney and ask to have a review done and pay them when the town's attorney represents the town, not any individual? They represent the town. I don't understand why we wanna go to a different attorney.
May I say something?
Sure.
On the back of the 2018 bylaws, it says when it was done. May 1st. That's why I presented the May 1st, when it was voted on, and they did accept it at that meeting. And they don't like it because they did things illegally by it for years, and that's why they want to expunge it and make it go away.
So now that they've accepted and gone back to 2007,
They've expunged it, because if you look at the 2007 ones, it makes no mention at all of the 2015 and 2018. It just says we will revert back to 2007. And I also asked her for a copy of the 2007, but and it might be in that information you just dumped on me, but I don't know yet, because I haven't had time to go through it all. Being here right now.
let's get a workshop and we'll go over this. Just kind of see what we got.
Because this is just the tip of the iceberg. I got a lot more that I can document.
We'll do that. Let's see. Cindy, how'd the radius gonna go? Oh, that's in January.
January.
There's some more months to go. No, it didn't go very good, no, no. 12/23, closed. Dan. You got something for us?
Well, there's things for you.
Yeah?
There is a copy in that purple book, right in the
Okay.
on the page, yeah, of course it is. On this side. Oh, it fell off. Okay.
Look at that thing.
That is just for the carpet area in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to go all the way to the doors. Should be that one. Just a little extra rip up all that VCT tile,
Yeah,
but that also depends if you guys go with something like that, where the carpet is. Which that one is this plank here.
mm-hmm. 50. 5250.
And that's for the one, it's the 18 by 18 tile. Is those samples there.
Where's the tile, just inside the door?
Nope, the whole hallway.
Oh, under the carpet?
Yeah,
No, it's
Well-
all going-
the tiles right in front of both doorways.
Yeah.
Was one section is 8 by 8, something like that, and the other one's like 12 by 8 or 12 by 10.
Yeah.
Do it one shot, you would done it. That way we won't have issues later. And that crash goes out, we're right back where we started.
Right. Yeah,
So add $1,000 for this number.
Yeah. And the rest of it is just like code base, extra code base they need, the code base and then tracking the shirts, you wouldn't get charged until after I get them in,
yeah,
because just in case I mismeasured.
Yeah, what's the total on
I'm gonna have that.
so this is one kind of corn, this is another kind of corn, there's another.
See, this here is my labor
this? Yeah, so.
for ripping demo, prepping the floor, that's code base. Rip all the code base off, replace it. This is one style of floor. This is another style of floor. Another style of floor, another style of floor.
Okay, so we need to total this and then pick which one we want. Do the total. And add
And then
that.
add that, yeah.
So which one do we want?
I picked the lighter colors like the plank look. I went with this one because
The lighter.
the walls are so dark.
Mhm.
Trying to at least suck some kind of light in. These are my first two choices. Couple females picked that one. And those other two light ones.
It is white.
This tends to hide the dirt the best on it.
Yes, what I said.
Oh, he's talking about the blonde ones. These ones, we kind of hide the dirt probably a little bit better than the rest of them. These here, you know, if they use a dirty mop bucket, you're gonna see the streaks in it. Probably a lot easier. I mean, we can go as stupid
Yeah,
as,
that's what I would go with. And
That
then-
kind of looks dirty to begin with.
Yeah. I think that's the one really. This is in here for the
wood.
floor, yeah,
And that cardigan one here,
yeah,
it's roughly that color, might be a shade too darker.
yeah.
So this.
And I-
this-
How's it gonna hold up?
This one here is a diamond 10 finish,
Mhm.
which is
10 millimeter.
supposed to be. No, it's diamond 10, it's,
As hard as Ricky said.
yeah, something like that, no, it's supposed to be less scratch
Lift offs
resistant,
don't feel that way.
Oh. Yeah,
it's supposed to be less
This is-
scratch resistant.
This flooring and that's this one.
This one here is this one
Okay,
here,
right. So.
and
that
then
is-
this one here is this. I didn't bring a sample in for this one, because that's a 2 foot by 4 foot board
Oh, yeah.
that I won't get carried around.
This one's cheaper.
mhm.
Yeah, this plank one here is cheaper.
Is it somewhat waterproof?
It's $1,000.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it withstands water, it's pure vinyl, the
okay,
glue is supposed to be, you know, relatively. Waterproofing,
And it's $1,000 cheaper going on that.
yeah, yeah,
So
that's why he recommended that.
42.50. Plus 1050 plus 300 plus 600 plus 1012
$10,006.
plus
10,018.
11056. These numbers, this number, this number, this number, and that.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, this is get rip out of the tile. That's the extra install for doing the tile area.
So we're at 12, page 51. And that's all of these numbers here, these, this one, and this one.
We'll put on that one. Timeframe.
Depends when you get it, I'm looking at something around a 2-week wait. For I get the material in. Yeah, it depends if the factory's actually got it or if they're COVID restricted again or what the hell kind of stupid crap's going on next.
RFP, the blue. Yeah,
So this is ours.
we're gonna do that at a operating,
Did we ever get the number?
100 and something, yes.
We did.
106, site.
You go, you guys,
105,604.19.
I would make the motion that we extend up to $14,000 for the flooring in the community center. Right, through. Also, about Portland's contract. Now for insurance.
And we don't have to go to the town for that.
No, top of mine. We
That's
do
our
our
money.
And we can do same thing with capital improvement account for the building, we can use that line item as well, we don't need to.
Second,
All in favor?
Blank.
Yes. You agree with that? You agree with that?
Yeah.
that kind of matches the door look. So,
most of it, you were copy.
Yeah, no, doesn't.
all right. Oh,
No,
But you're not gonna put it over the top of
So
the
kids
top.
fall down.
it's not going to the car. That's food for the thought later.
Older folks, and you fall down. Don't get the. This thing.
Blank. That one, all right.
Can I have a copy of whatever
That's that one, and
This here is all in, I put it with a,
you did?
yes, I
Okay,
put the
awesome.
total of 12,650 on the bottom. It's paper clip in this one. And
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Let me put this back in the. back.
okay.
Thank you, Dan.
You're gonna be using me.
Oh, you.
And that's what that's.
Yeah.
Good, that's something.
I just want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying.
This is the current bylaws right now. See how it says revised by chair
Mm-hmm,
and revised by chairperson.
yeah,
And then on the bottom, revised by the planning board, August 7th.
yeah,
And that's on the 15th. Then on our new ones there, they go back to 2007.
yeah.
See what I'm saying? They make no mention at all of these two. None. It makes no, this is the 15, this is the 18, and that's current. That's what I'm saying, they've expunged the record.
Okay, yeah, so we can add this to the file, and do you have a copy of any of this?
I got those.
On my freedom of information request, I requested Alvina to take a copy of everything that I had requested. I believe.
Okay,
They got a
I've got
copy of
this all,
everything.
okay. All right,
Can you see what I'm talking about, Dick?
they just didn't add those in because they would have had to go back. Add those two and then revert back to that.
But in these ones here is where they've changed the quorum from 4 to 3, and they went back clear past 2015.
Right.
This 2018 one.
I guess the only thing we can do
4.1
right now is just tell them they have to go back to form before, because that's what voted by the town. Nothing we can do about that.
Well,
Yeah, no, what do you-
that's what they are now.
They are.
That's what I'm saying, but all through the water, they were operating on 3. If there was a quorum of 3, they could do business. And the problem with the quorum of 3, 2 voting members shared the same roof. So the
Yeah,
So the deciding votes were done under one roof.
to me, it's not who, it's what, and how do we fix it? That's- that's
Just
what
gonna
I-
fix it, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, how can you fix anything that was done through three over the years?
Yeah.
And then all the way through the water is like I'm saying.
Yep. Okay. Well,
And as for, I would like you to read that. I'm not submitting it into the record, I would just like it to head be for your eyes. So it's not that I'm just making this stuff up and doing it on my own.
yeah. Yeah. All right, Patrick.
So this coming Monday, the 19th, when all the proposals are due from the vendors, I can tell you that we've had questions, 9 different questions that have been answered through our consulting firm that we're working with. We've had interest from at least 5 different vendors. And we're gonna know who those are, we're gonna know what kind of costs we're incurring. The question that we're asking all the board now is to consider. If one of these proposals is something that we'll even consider, we then need to go to the townspeople and ask them, you know, do they support an expenditure? And that assumes there is an expense, and I don't know right now that there will be. But when we go to ask them, do they want to do that spend? Your question is, how precisely are we gonna do that? Through a referendum, through an open town meeting, special town meeting? It's gonna have to happen pretty quickly. We're looking at middle to
I
end
think
of
referendum will
February.
get more people.
100%.
Yeah.
I missed that, I'm sorry.
Referendum, you get more people to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the more people we have, the better. We really wanna know
I'm just
what
surprised.
everyone thinks.
Five out of 5 proposals,
That's more than the 1 or 2
yeah,
that,
I was surprised to hear 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
and that doesn't mean we'll only get 5. We could get a substantial charge of proposals,
So
so.
in the beginning, it was only, 2 that were talking to us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's another thing, now that we've done all the work we've done, we've got, you know, I won't say we have a plan in hand, but we've done a bunch of work, we know what we have, you know, we're getting close to closing that gap up and being able to ask. You know, someone who can do the work. what's it
Beg for
take
money.
to come in here and, yeah,
That's the next thing.
well, they tell us what it costs, and then we've got to, you know, we've got to align that with what's available, grant money, and then there is the, you know, the time period where we have to apply for that grant money.
Yeah.
And as Dick may or may not have shared with you. Kind of, you know, the speculators in the industry expected this last grant round to see applications for somewhere between $20 and $40 million. We saw applications for $91 million. So there's a ton of competing offers or competing requests for grant money up there. We know for a fact that some of those are, you know, there's no plan involved. They just said, hey, we heard there's free money, can I have it? You know, but you know, so some people are just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. But there are bound to be some, you know, competing requests.
And there's only 27 available.
Yeah, there's only 27 available, but 91 are requested, so there's gonna be some disappointed townsfolk, you know, somewhere in Maine. That's this grant round, we're looking at getting to the next grant round. Amounts of money change, the rules for application change, we don't know that stuff yet. But that grant window likely opens right around the 1st of March, is what we think right now, so that's why we're talking about. Meetings, referendums, whatever it takes in the middle of February, toward the end of February. Certainly no later, otherwise we fall down.
What's it cost us? Just the frame, right? Frame and count.
You didn't want the hearing first. And then you just what's printing and the 2 people to be in there.
Alvina, can you get the numbers for what we had for tally, you know, the elections people we have, what we have left in that line item?
The elections.
So that's the extent of my update. I feel like we're about to get into the exciting part. I think we're gonna know inside of 2 months. Is something gonna happen here in town?
Yeah.
It's gonna be busy from here on in, just so you know.
Which had all you do to get 2.
Yeah, I may be on that meeting tomorrow, and it all depends if I get back, I'll be in Monson tomorrow.
That's okay, it's probably okay to miss this one.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yep,
Okay,
got one thing on your community center.
yeah,
The entrance going into that way, you're putting that ramp,
yeah,
you gotta fix that whole floor.
right,
That's part of the, so where you're putting the ramp, you're putting it the same level as the broken piece. So you gotta fix that trip hazard going into the building, that's one of his, that's why you see the picture of the ramp is wrong, but also that drop. So they want that level. So if there's any way you can put that level, that's a trip hazard that is part of this.
On track.
yeah, yeah.
He fell off a plane. Walk around in air cast,
Oh,
so I'll hit him up.
yeah,
I'll run down to his
So I
house.
didn't look at that, see if they could. make
Yeah,
Level
um,
the door.
I did talk to Public Works, and Bob said that they could do that if we wanted them to. Yeah,
Oh, we'll let them do it. We're paying them anyway.
yeah,
Why we have to spend more money?
right. Bob said he's done concrete, and they can do that.
Sweet.
Like, the clerk come see me yesterday and said, you guys putting a ramp, I said, well, they fixing the floor, and he said, no. I said, well, that's part of, I said, you have a plan to fix that floor, so when you come out of that door, you don't step down, the rip house, he didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you can, I don't know what's making it do that,
Yeah. Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
before you went and made that ramp, build that up, so that you
Yep.
make the ramp all the same.
okay,
Just wanted you to be aware of that, that was a problem, too.
yep, thank you.
Every time that was going.
I know.
All my
Lines out there.
I'm gonna tear out the cement one, the one in front of the building. One.
Yes, paving.
Yeah, the hump,
Yeah.
well, hopefully,
You didn't like
that they put it on top of the old
I do
asphalt.
too. I think it's cold patch from the top, but I can say.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Okay,
I was in there today, looks good, right? They cleaned out the back room there where the heater is. I went and explained to Willie what I'd like to see in the going to the mechanical, we could put shelves in, get that stuff off the floor, neaten it up. It was looking good.
Shelby, won't you take that? Got that.
yeah.
I asked him about his shed out there where the lawnmower is.
Yeah.
It's all baseball stuff, but baseballs. Why couldn't he go out in that shed? He's afraid to get sold.
Well, they were ripping the wall off the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hooked that one up, what, 3 times in a row?
Wow,
Yeah.
Literally, they took the wall off it.
Yeah.
It was just wide open,
Destroyed.
just studs. It's like, damn.
It's just oddball stuff, just to get rid of it, so it makes it look nicer.
yep,
That's one of my goals is to make that a warming shelter
yeah,
and. But I get it cleaned up, fixed up, and we can go from there. He's putting the floor down. That's great. That takes care of trip hazard in there.
did you get anywhere on the generator?
You know, I dial that number and all you get that. I'm still looking for the number to get a hold of it. I talked to a person once.
Yeah.
And you think I can get back there? I know I used that number before and I talked to a person. This time it's all automated.
So we. The generators are in. And it's $1,000 off,
Yeah, right now, yeah,
If we-
Bob told me that.
we do it now.
So I've been pushing, trying to
Do
get.
we want to take the money out of ARPA and then return it when we get the grant?
That's what I can.
Well, you got a $16,000 match, so.
Right,
Then I'm just afraid of, if I buy the generator early, you really reimburse it. That's my, say, if you buy it now, this is just pending,
yeah,
you already own it. So that's my dilemma, because I did the same thing, I said, why can't we take the 16,000 that we've got? Purchase a generator because it's, and then put it back in, but I'm afraid that if we buy it, and we have not received it. They'll say, but I've had these grants this before.
did you ask them that question tomorrow?
What's a warrant article?
So we raised.
16,000.
$16,000.
You raised the matching.
And
part
then,
of it.
yeah,
We're taking out one anyway. And then,
The money's over there.
right. So the money,
Worst case scenario. If
I just
grant
asked
doesn't
her
come through, we still have the out funds.
right,
So it's a win-win either way you go.
They did sit to another Zoom meeting on resilience grants. They're out there $50,000 that can be used for some. So I'm gonna look into that, and I gotta get this thing straightened out before I go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because they look at that.
Yep.
It's called the community resilience class, ABCOG and ECOG or whatever, put it on, and I sat through that, and it's, you know. Towns can get up to $50,000 to do different things.
What I was telling you last night, AdCog. What I was telling you last night about AdCog. We fall under them for certain things.
Yeah,
and
this is one of them.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
The
one.
lines are nuts for that.
It's like they put in charging stations,
Yeah.
anything with zero emission stuff, it's like. Lovell's doing it now, they're doing the community resilience, they're doing a meeting. So I said, well, might be something that we can do.
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, see if you can find out.
I think what Lovell's doing with theirs is about broadband.
It could be, because broadband is involved in it.
An education thing
Yeah.
down to the library.
Check on that and see if you can find out by next week, and then we can,
That's how I'm getting tomorrow.
and then we can, make the decision to buy it or, you know, whatever.
I'll talk to Lorraine, see, can you do this and do this, and I'll just keep pushing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
One question. Tomorrow I should know when that material's coming in. If I have a day and a date when the material's coming. If I have a free day off, whatever, that we finish the job early, or any chance I might be able to get in there and just strip it out, and that way when the floor is here, all I have to do is go.
Yep, that gets rid of the carpet and nobody falls on it, it's even better.
Yeah.
Just look on the floor instead.
Well, it should be too slippery.
No. Perfect, that worked good.
Sorry, John, I'm real massive.
Yes. Great, anything else?
That could be used to explain a lot.
I'll entertain a motion. Awesome. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, held up a lot. I'll swear for left and right.
All right.
Jim one, they don't know that.
I'm leaving mine up like crazy.
These are all the signed stuff.